Okay, here's the setup we have for the all things being equal demonstration on page 219 of your book Joy of Chemistry. We've prepared a beaker of 0.2 molar copper sulfate, and we've prepared some vinegar. We poured vinegar into this beaker, and we've poured water and baking soda into this beaker. You can see the baking soda that's still solid is at the bottom. So we have the solution, clear solution on the top. What we're going to do, I'll show you some theory first. Bring the camera up. If you can see that, hopefully you can see that clearly. Zoom in a little bit. In a first reaction, we're going to look at copper sulfate, which is dissolved in the solution, reacting with sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, which is also in solution form, forming a solid precipitate of copper carbonate. Now, not all of the copper will be in the form of copper carbonate. Some will still be dissolved, and you'll be able to see by its color, in the copper sulfate form. The rest of the reaction is that sodium sulfate, which is also dissolves, is formed water and carbon dioxide. Okay? Then what we're going to do in the second part of this demonstration is take the same beaker that we have and add some vinegar. So our solid precipitate of copper carbonate, which you'll see, hopefully, sort of a pale blue color, will react with the acetic acid and the vinegar, forming copper acetate, which is also copper 2 ions dissolved. This is a dissolved substance, an aqueous solution of copper acetate in water and carbonate. And if we put enough vinegar in, it'll all be converted into the soluble form. Then we're going to do the whole thing again to show you going back and forward. Here we go. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm going to pull back a little bit. Excuse me, pull back a little bit. Guys, I'll have to move the tripod. I think you can see it best there. Okay. First we're going to add the sodium bicarbonate, just a few drops. And hopefully you can see this well. Into the, I see it. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to add another half of a dropper full. You might be able to see that. I'll bring the beaker up. It's sort of a pale blue color in there. That's about the best we can do. It forms like a cloud of precipitate. Now I'm going to add the vinegar. A little bit. I can see it clearing up at the top. A little bit more. A little bit more. Now what's happening, and I'll swirl it a bit, I can still see some cloud of copper carbonate in there. It's just about disappeared. And you can see that it's clear again. We actually did this yesterday, and we were using used copper sulfate. But it serves the purpose. Let's do that again. First, let's just put a little bit. Let's zoom in on this a bit so maybe we can see it better. A little bit of sodium bicarbonate, drop-wise. A lot of vinegar in there. Nothing happens. The vinegar is dissolving. There it goes. The sodium bicarbonate. Now we get some cloudy copper carbonate formation. See it? Okay. Now we just take the vinegar again, put the vinegar in, and I can see it dissolving. I hope you can too. That pretty much has it. Let's swirl it. See if we can get all the copper carbonate to dissolve. It does. And it's clear again. The purpose of this demonstration was to show that what happens, bring the camera up on the board, Here again, zoom out a little bit, zoom out maybe to there. Pull the tripod back so you can see the whole board. Here we are. What happens is the copper sulfate, which is soluble, reacts with the sodium bicarbonate, forming the solid copper carbonate precipitate. And when that happens, copper plus 2 ions are in the solution, as well as copper precipitate in the solution. And what we do then is we react this copper carbonate with vinegar, changing it back to ionic copper. So we have pure copper 2 color back in the beaker again. That's it. I hope that helped you.